Hello, this is Ernest Burley Jr., your CIA, your cool insurance agent, back at you again with some more great information on insurance. I'm a licensed insurance agent with over 30 years experience in the industry and clients all across the country in one capacity or another, whether it's auto insurance or life insurance, long-term care insurance. As a matter of fact, I have a client in Florida now. I'm doing some long-term care protection for, and a client in Connecticut, life insurance, clients in all over the place. Let's just put it that way. So whether it be disability coverage. I have a client, I think in Missouri, getting some disability coverage for that person now. So wherever you are in the country, we can take care of you regarding any area of insurance. So auto, home, life insurance, long-term care, disability, business policies, things of that nature. Okay. So the purpose of this podcast is to educate you, to enlighten you, to empower you with objective, clear, and unbiased information so you can make some great decisions for yourself and for your family and or for your business, right? So business, churches, all types of organizations and entities. So that's what the podcast is about. You know, I don't like these long intros, so we're going to jump right into our topic matter for today. So today's podcast is titled Floating a Credit Card Charge. Now, credit cards get a bum rap, and I've talked about this before. I've mentioned this before in previous podcasts, just briefly, but credit cards get a bum rap. Credit cards don't mismanage themselves. They don't charge themselves up. There's always a person behind the transaction. Credit card is not a person, right? They're not people. So there's always some person behind the transaction. It's a matter of discipline. So you got to discipline yourself. Credit cards can actually be used in a very helpful way. They can be very helpful to people and for businesses and organizations, whomever, in many different ways, right? So they can help build credit. They can help improve your credit score. Credit cards can help you document your purchases throughout the year with reports that, the credit card companies have various reports available at the end of the year to show where you're spending your money. So you can kind of make sure you're tailoring in that and staying in budget and doing what you're supposed to be doing. So those reports are pretty helpful. You can defer the payment on a large amount. Like I said, if you don't have the cash now, you can defer that payment by charging it and paying it in a future month. And we're going to talk about that today a little bit. You can use the credit card as a hold for a rental car. You can also make certain online purchases with your credit card. Now, a lot of purchases I make online, I do with my debit card. But if it's a new site or I'm not familiar with that company, I'll probably do a credit card charge instead. Or if it's a large purchase, maybe I'll do that. Depends on the situation. But the credit card, I'll use that because it's very easy to refute a charge on a credit card versus on your debit card. Once that debit is done, money comes out of your account. It's a different process to get that money back into your account versus if it's a charge, nothing has come out of your account, right? It's on a charge card and the company will remove it. The credit card company will remove that and allow you to dispute it. And then things will work themselves out. And also, like I said, you have the ability to dispute credit card charges. So there are a lot of advantages to using credit cards. Now, here's a way to float a credit card charge for like almost 2 months, basically. So a lot of people aren't familiar with your closing date. What you want to do is time a charge to happen right after your closing date. If you don't currently have the money for that particular situation, they say you're a business owner, you don't have that cash, you don't have that $1,000 or $500 or $2,000 or what have you, but you need whatever this is for the situation that you have going on. Here's a way, you got to be strategic. Any financial vehicle, use it to your advantage, right? So your closing date, a lot of people don't even know what a closing date is. So the closing date on your credit card is the last date of a charge on that particular next statement. So for example, I'm looking at my credit card now. My closing date was December the 17th on a particular statement. And this bill is due on January the 14th. So that means December the 17th was the last charge that's on this statement that's due January the 14th, which is like coming up soon, right? Now, anything that I charge after that date is not on this statement, obviously, because I have this statement, right? So if I charge something on December the 18th, it's not going to be due until February. So that's almost 2 months later. So if I charge something on December the 18th, it won't be due until February the 14th, right? So that gives you time to have the money to pay it. Now, when that charge comes, you want to pay your credit card balance to zero. I think I've talked about that in a previous podcast, but in either case, you want to always pay your credit card balance to zero. You don't want to be paying these crazy interest rates on a credit card, 15, 20%. It's just crazy. So whatever you charge, pay it in full by the due date. But this gives you a way to kind of float that charge for an extended period of time. So that's how you strategically use a credit card to float a credit card charge, right? Pay attention to that closing date, charge after the closing date, and whatever that you just charged won't be due the next month. It will be due the following month, just like the example I gave you. December the 18th charge is not going to be due for me until February the 14th. 2 months, almost 2 months later, right? There you go. So you want to be wise. You want to use discipline. Only charge what you can pay by that due date, and don't get yourself in trouble, because you can get yourself in trouble with credit cards because you don't feel the pain. You're putting it on a charge as opposed to debiting the money. You don't really feel the pain until the statement comes later on. And some people pay the minimum payments every month. I'm not advocating that at all. You want to pay it in full when that balance comes. But this is a strategic way to get yourself in position for a large charge that maybe you don't have the money for right now, but you can still, secure whatever that is you need and pay it off in almost 2 months instead of the following month. Okay, that's it for today's podcast. I just want to drop that tidbit of information on you. Hey, the recap is credit cards are not your enemy, right? Credit cards are not your enemy. They can be your friend in so many different ways. And I listed those: by building your credit, by improving your credit score, by allowing you to make certain purchases and reports. And there's just a lot of different ways that credit cards can work to your advantage. Some takeaways is to be wise. You have to be wise. You have to use discipline, because credit cards, using a credit card in the wrong fashion can get you in trouble, can mess up your finances. So we want to be wise. We want to be disciplined, right, in our efforts when we use a credit card. Another takeaway is that you want to use any financial vehicle to your advantage. And we just talked about how you can use a credit card, multiple ways you can use a credit card towards your advantage. So those are some takeaways for today's podcast. I thank y'all for listening. I really appreciate y'all listening every week. And I hope that you spread the podcast to others and ask them to do the same, and so on and so on and so on. But I appreciate y'all tuning in every week, and I appreciate the comments too. I get comments every week about one thing or another. Hey, great podcast, or they ask, a question on it, or something of that nature. Or if you have a differing point of view, I don't mind that either. You can just reach out to me, email me. It's just easy to email me, ernestburleyjr@gmail.com. It's just my full name at Gmail. So that's ERNESTBURLEYJR@gmail.com. Again, that's ERNESTBURLEYJR@gmail.com. Or you can contact me, 301-262-2600. That's the number to my firm, 301-262-2600. All of my podcasts are on YouTube. So please go to my YouTube channel. Ask your friends, family members, church members, co-workers, or whomever to, hey, go to this guy's YouTube channel. It's just my name, Ernest Burley Jr., and subscribe. And hopefully you get a whole lot of other people to subscribe, like your whole job and your family, your friends, your church members, have them subscribe to the videos. And there are a lot of different videos on there in various areas. Like today, we're talking about credit cards, right? I'll talk about real estate. I'll talk about life insurance. I'll talk about homeowners insurance. I'll talk about employment, employers, all that type of stuff. So please tune in, take a look at the channel and see what videos may be good for you. There are podcasts on there, and then there are also 1-minute snippets too that are just quick one hitters, right? So it was podcasts, maybe 5, 10, 15 minutes or whatever, versus the 1-minute deals, right? So please check that out. And that is it. I really appreciate y'all tuning in again. Like I said before, if you want to reach out and give you that information, to contact me. And also please subscribe to the YouTube channel and check out the various podcasts and snippets on there. Okay. So that's it. This is Ernest Burley Jr., your CIA, your cool insurance agent, signing off until we speak again. Y'all take care and be safe out there. Okay.